And today's video is about a message I received this morning from my guides, my spirit team, which is actually probably the first time I've ever mentioned that in real life. um, it feels a little bit scary to mention it because that's not something I grew up with. That's not something I was really encouraged to pursue really at any point in my life until like now. And so, spiritual awakenings are really a thing. So yeah, it's kind of a little edgy to be like, yeah, I just had a chat with my guides this morning. Which I think is mostly what a lot of people do and say when they meditate every morning. It's just like I got this message during meditation, and like for me, I now know that like that's my spirit team, my spirit guides. It's I'm not really great at naming things because I don't think that things need a name. So I would probably refer to them as like several different things, but I think the one that's landing most is like spirit team. So we're gonna go with that. But today's video is about a message that we had that was discussed about I was asking about, if I'm in the right place at the right time, like why isn't the money showing up? And I'm not even happy that I asked that question, but like we need money to live on this plane, right? Like this plane of existence. We need it. And so, money can be spiritual too, right? But I think now we're being taught that money is just not like dollars and cents. Like that there's a currency. Money is currency, and there's other forms of currency that aren't the typical go to the store, hand over your cash thing. There's multiple currencies that give in different ways, and joy is one currency. And so, we didn't go too deep into this discussion because I always have a million questions for my guides, and I just go like keep on going like with the next one, the next one, the next one. And I probably should have gone a little deeper because like how I don't know. I mean, some of that stuff like you don't always know, right? Like there's just not an answer for. And even if like you have an answer from the spiritual realms, you might not translate it into like physical reality. Like your physical brain might not understand it. And maybe like you're not ready to yet, which is also super annoying for me since I'm super impatient. But yeah, joy is a type of currency. I'll just cut right to the chase here. 2 minutes into a video, right? Joy is a type of currency. And I'll be honest, I don't know how I'm supposed to get like abundant off of that. I think I just have to follow the thread. That's one of the spiritual practices I do is like follow the nudges and follow the threads without knowing where they're going to go. That's intuition. We don't know where it's going to go. It doesn't always make sense logically. And so there's like a huge portion of your life that's lived out of the realm of logic, which is not something encouraged again, because like our life is the land of logic. And so it's very left brain logical stuff, right? And I don't know why this is coming in right now, but like the right brain is like, that center of creativity. And I think like of a more like spiritual realm, more difficult to define. I think it's also with like femininity and stuff like that. But I'm reminded of like when some of my ancestors were growing up in the 70s, early 80s, and they went to school and they were actively discouraged from using their left hand to write with. They were literally like poked and prodded and smacked with a ruler to use their right hand. Like anytime they used their left hand, that was quote wrong, and they needed to use their right hand. So, and that's really interesting. I think that's a great metaphor for well, first off, that was like terrible, right? Like terrible experience. And also it's interesting that that was even a thing because like it just was absurd to me to learn that as an adult. I've always been right-handed though, but it's just really interesting that we would not want people to use their left hands, and that's associated with your right brain because it like crisscrosses the meridians or whatever. I'm a scientist, not really. But the left brain controls the right half of your body, and the right brain controls the left hand half. So like there is a crisscross for your brain wiring. And so yeah, the left hand being associated with the right brain, which is like femininity and creativity and like more like artistic than logic. And I just think it's like really interesting that that was actively discouraged. And I think that's just a great metaphor for how we exist, is like we can only exist in this one logical realm, and there's no place for like the spiritual, unseen, intuitive part. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We are so entering a time where we need intuition. We're actively being encouraged to engage with our intuitions through meditation, and meditation can be so many things. I really think a lot of people think it's just like you empty your brain and you just sit there and like fall asleep, which sometimes does happen. And like that's okay too, right? But at the same time, meditation is anything that gets you into a flow state. So if like you're singing and dancing, that's a form of meditation, I feel like. And there's like specific meditations. If you want to hear from your guides, you will have to get quiet though at the same time. For me, nature is a really great access point for me. That just kind of happened literally naturally, no pun intended. Pun intended. Words. Um, Perimenopause, brain fart here. So buffering. Yeah, but being in nature was a really like easy access point for my intuition. It was really natural. And I didn't even know that it was intuition for a long time until like just being in spiritual groups and knowing like, oh, hey, like that actually was a message from outside of myself. Like, and it was really encouraging and felt like like true wisdom. And so now I'm practicing like doing that like as a daily practice. And it might not always be outside because I want to be able to access my intuition at any point. And so I just really got to make sure I'm grounded. And one of the tricks that I use is very new. Like I'm not a professional. Like I just started this like a couple days ago, but spreading your toes wide, and it just really brings that awareness and attention to your feet, and that's a very grounding thing. We think we live so much in our heads. I know I live in my head so much. I have to actively like pursue the grounding feeling, like feel into my body, feel into my feet. And it's not easy, right? Like I'm a forest therapy guide. We are trained to open open people's awareness to their senses, and like that's what I do, and I still struggle myself, right? So like I just want to acknowledge like it's not easy. And at the same time, it's a practice, and that's why they call it a practice. It's not perfection. You're never going to be perfect. You're human. Sorry to tell you, it's not going to be perfect, but we just keep practicing. And I think that allows room to evolve as well. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure this theme of today was joy as currency, but we touched on a lot of topics because the ADHD is really real in midlife. Okay, thanks. But back to the joy as currency before my computer dies. I don't even know if this will work since my computer is so like about to die. Which is new to me because I just turned it on. But anyway, this is who I am. PS. Like this is just who I am. I'm not gonna edit anything because I don't like to edit. I don't even know if I can edit in this Substack recording studio, but I wouldn't anyways. But joy is a currency. Giving and receiving joy, that is a form of currency. And it feels good to give and receive joy, right? So that's an energy exchange. That's a currency, and that matters. And I would just encourage you to remember that joy is something that you can give and receive. And there's a point to it. Like it doesn't have to be like, oh, it's not productive, because that's where my brain goes. The point is that it feels good. And I think we need more of that every day. So sending you lots of joy, and I will be open and receiving lots of joy in return. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Wandering onward.